Hello students, my name is Bhavna Singh. I am working as an assistant professor in St. Andrews Institute of Technology and Management. This is an online tutorial series on e-commerce. So let's begin today's session. Students, this is our lecture number 11 of Unit 3, and in the previous session we have discussed about the electronic payment system, its various features and what are the various modes. In this session we will discuss about various modes of electronic payment system in detail one by one, like electronic cash, electronic wallet, what are smart cards, what are credit cards and what are chart cards. So we will discuss about each one of these mode in detail one by one in this session. So let's get started with today's session. So here comes our first topic, that is modes of electronic payment system. These are the various modes by which we will be able to do the online payment, or we will be able to do the online transactions without carrying cash or without carrying any checks, or we will be able to do the paperless transaction with all these modes. And these modes are electronic cash, electronic wallet, smart cards, credit cards and charge cards. And in the coming slides we will discuss about each one of them in detail. Now let us start with the first mode of e-payment, that is electronic cash. What is an electronic cash? Electronic cash is a general term that describes any value storage and exchange system created by a private entity that does not use paper documents. It can serve as a substitute for government issued physical currency. That means this electronic cash is nothing but a digital money, you can say, and you are using this digital money to pay for the products or services that you buy online, or whenever you do some online shopping. So in case of using the physical currency, or in case of using some cash, you are using the digital money in order to pay for that particular goods and services, and we are using it as a substitute for the physical currency. Or in other terms you can say that this digital cash is a type of system in which you are purchasing some cash credits in small amounts, and you are storing all these cash credits in your computer, and whenever you do some online shopping or online purchasing, then you can spend them whenever you want, or whenever you are purchasing something over the internet. And one more thing, this electronic cash, it occurs over the internet whenever you do some online shopping. So this transfer, it occurs on the internet, and it uses the existing computer on which you are working, or you can say it's your own desktop which you are using. So it requires no additional cost as we spend in case of some credit card transactions. So though it is very much inexpensive, and it does not require any pin number also, as in case of credit card or as in case of debit card, because in this e-cash we are directly transferring it from customer's desktop to the merchant sites whenever we do some online shopping. So it can be reloaded onto the card's microprocessor chip as frequently as we require it. Now these are the properties that every electronic cash system must have or must possess. The first one is the security. That means the electronic cash, if whenever we are using, it should be secure and it should not be easy, so that anyone else or any third person can copy it or alter it whenever we are exchanging it or whenever we are storing it. So it should be secure enough, and it should provide the security also. Then the second, we have the interoperability. Interoperability means that this e-cash system, it must be interoperable, so that it must be exchangeable, or we can exchange it with the for the goods or services or other electronic cash that we are using, or that we are doing over the internet, or any purpose for which money is used. So in case of money, we should be able to use this electronic cash. This means it should be interoperable. Then the next, we have the monetary value. Monetary value means that the value in terms of money, you can say, it must be present. If the electronic cash is provided by some hard currency, or it is provided by some bank authorized credits, so it should hold some monetary value. That means it should hold some value in terms of money. Then the next we have the storable and retrievable. That means it must be storable and retrievable, so that it will allow the remote users or the remote storage, so that they can exchange this e-cash from home or while traveling or from anywhere in the world. So it should be retrievable and should be storable. Now comes the second mode of e-payment system, that is electronic wallet. An electronic wallet is also called a digital wallet. It is a piece of software that allows a user to make an electronic payment with a financial instrument. It is an encryption software that stores payment information like a traditional wallet, and it also provides security and encryption for the user's personal information and for the actual transaction. That means this electronic wallet is a digital wallet in which the user can keep the amount or can keep the credit amount, you can say, or it can use these credit amounts, or it can use these cash which is present in this electronic wallet whenever doing the online shopping. So in short, we can say that this e-wallet or electronic wallet or the digital wallet, it is a type of prepaid account, you can say, in which a user or a customer can store his or her money for any future online transactions whenever they perform some future transactions. And this e-wallet, these are protected with a password. And with the help of these e-wallet, a customer or a user, they can make payments for their anything, for like groceries, for online purchases, for ticket reservation. So anything they can do, or they can spend the currency which is present in this e-wallet just like a traditional wallet. And these e-wallets, they need to be linked with the individual's bank account so that he'll be able to make the payments. And this e-wallet, it has mainly two components, like the software which stores the personal information about the user, and it also provides the security and the encryption of the data, like the money which is present in that e-wallet. And the second component is the information, in which it is a kind of database which stores all the details that are provided by the user, like he provides its name or shipping address or payment method or amount to be paid or credit or debit card details. So all these details, they are filled in the information component. So whenever the user needs to use this e-wallet, he can use this, and he can enter the amount or he wants to spend, and in that case he is not required to fill the order from any or other websites. He just install that software on his or her devices and enter the relevant information that is required. So this whenever after doing the online shopping, this e-wallet, it automatically fills the information that is required by the for the users on the payment form. Now we will discuss the various features of electronic wallet. The first one is provide convenience. That is, these electronic wallet or the digital wallet, they are very much convenient for the customers, and by clicking on their electronic wallet, they can easily order for the items quickly. So it makes the online shopping very much efficient. Then the second one, we have these electronic wallets, they hold the e-cash from various providers, and they are provided at an e-commerce site whenever they do some online shopping, and these are provided at the e-commerce websites on the checkout page. Then the next we have, it stores the various personal and financial information, like it stores all the information about the user, like their credit card number, their passwords, their PIN, or many more things related to a customer. So all these information, they are stored inside that electronic wallet. And the next we have, it offers a secure, convenient and a fast tool, you can say, for online shopping, because whenever they select some items to purchase online, and they can easily just click their electronic wallet and everything is mentioned in that electronic wallet, so it allows them to order the items very quickly. Now this is the entire procedure for using an electronic wallet. Whenever you are doing some online shopping or whenever you want to use this digital wallet, so these are the procedures or these are the steps that you have to follow. The first one is decide on an electronic shop. Where would you like to shop? You have to first decide the shop from where you would like to do the online shopping. Then the second, you have to download a wallet from the merchant's website where you intend to shop, and the special form requires the buyer to fill in some personal information. Then that means first you have selected that the electronic shop from where you would like to do the online shopping. Then you have to download a wallet from that particular site on your own desktop, and you have to fill the form that the merchant is requiring you to fill all about your personal information. Then fill in the personal information such as your credit card numbers, name, address and phone number and address of the shipment. Then after downloading the wallet from the merchant's website, you have to fill all these details inside that form which is provided by the website or which is provided by the merchant's website. So you have to fill all the information regarding your name, regarding your address, where you want the order to be shipped, or your credit card numbers, your phone numbers. So all these details you need to fill in that particular form. So after filling all these information, when you are ready to buy, then you have to click on the wallet button and the buying process is fully executed now. So this billing information is filled out automatically, and you can also drag information out of the wallet and drop it into the online form. So after filling all the information, you are ready to use that e-wallet, or in that case automatically all the details will be filled in that particular wallet. Now we will discuss the third mode of e-payment, that is what are smart cards. Smart card is a thin credit card sized piece of plastic that contains a half-inch square area that serves as the card's input or output system. This is its interface with the outside world and handles a variety of applications. A smart card contains a programmable chip, a combination of RAM and ROM storage, and an operating system of sorts, all embedded in plastic. That means this smart card is a kind of plastic money, you can say, or it's a small piece of plastic in which there is a programmable chip, and in that chip you can also call it as a microprocessor chip, and in that chip all the information regarding the user, regarding the credit card or regarding the pin, all the information are stored in that particular chip. And this smart card, it also has a RAM and ROM for storage or for storing all these information, and an operating system to operate on these. So this is a kind of plastic money we can use in place of the paper currency, and we can hold the digital cash on this chip, and this chip was encrypted, and it can be refilled whenever we want by connecting it to a particular bank. So it contains all the information, and it is embedded with a microprocessor chip which contains all the information about the user or about the particular customer. Now these are the various components that are present inside these smart cards, or that we have discussed about the microprocessor chip that is embedded in those smart cards. So this microprocessor chip, it contains these components. Like the first one is the CPU. CPU means central processing unit, and it controls all the operations of the smart card. Then we have random access memory, that is RAM. It is used for storing the temporary data, that is the data which is stored in RAM, and it is retained only when the power is on, and once the power is off, all the information that is stored inside the RAM, it will be lost. So it is used for storing the temporary data. Then the next we have the EPROM. EPROM means erasable programmable ROM, and it is used for storing the long term data, such as all the software applications and all the cryptographic keys that we use to encrypt our eCash inside the smart cards. Then we have the read only memory, that is ROM. It stores all the permanent data like the operating system data and whatever data is loaded into the card at the production stage, and it can only be read. So in case of RAM, it stores only the temporary data, and once the power is lost, the entire data will be lost. But in case of ROM, whenever we are producing that smart card, whenever at the initial stage we are using that smart card, so all the information that we have entered, all those data that is loaded into these smart cards at their production stage. Then we have the input and output interface. Input and output interface are used for providing the interaction or providing the various input and output functions with the outside world. So these are the components with the help of this microprocessor chip that is present inside the smart card is able to program or is able to functions, so that we'll be able to use it in place of the paper currency or in place of the physical currency. Now these are the various uses of smart card. A smart card is used to provide users with the ability to make a purchase. It contains stored value the card holder can spend at retailers. That means it provides all the users so that they'll be able to purchase anything with the help of the smart card, and it contains the stored value like in terms of cash or in terms of digital cash the holder of the card wants to spend on the retailer. Then it used to hold cash, ID information and a key to a house or an office. Then smart card is used in transaction processing. It could be loaded with cash value in ATM machines and used as a credit card. We can use it as a in the ATM machine also, we can use it as a credit card also, and it is used to hold the digital cash and all the information about the user. Then it is used to authenticate an individual's claim of personal identification using various authentication approaches. Now comes the fourth mode of e-payment, that is what is a credit card. Credit cards is the payment card issued to users as a system of payment. It allows the card holder to pay for goods and services based on the holder's promise to pay for them. The issuer of the card creates a revolving account and grants a line of credit to the consumer from which the user can borrow money for payment to a merchant or as a cash advance to the user. That means this credit card is also a plastic card, and everybody nowadays keeps one or more two credit cards so that they'll be able to pay for the products or services, or in which you borrow the funds from the pre-approved limit to pay for your purchases, and this limit is decided by the institution that who is issuing the credit card based on your credit card score. And there is a limit on every credit card, and you have to pay the payment, or you have to pay the entire amount at the end of every month, and in case of failure to do so, you have to some penalty will be charged. So this is the credit limit, you can say. And in this case, whenever you use your credit card, the money it is deducted from the your approved limit. But in case of a debit card, what happens, the money gets deducted from your own bank account, not from the limits. On there is no limit on the debit card, but on credit card there is a credit limit, and that you have to pay at the end of every month in order to avoid all the penalty charges. Now these are the various characteristics of credit card that you have to keep in mind. The first one is it is an alternative to cash. That means in place of cash or in place of physical currency, we can use these credit cards to pay for the products. Then the second, always there is always a credit limit on every credit card, that you can spend only like you can spend only 50,000 or you can spend only 60,000. So this is are the credit limit of every credit card. Then it facilitates payment in domestic as well as in foreign currency. That means with the help of this credit card, we'll be able to pay for the domestic, or we will able to exchange in with the help of foreign currency. Then it helps in keeping record of all the transactions that we have made using that particular credit card. Then the next is the additional charges for delay in payment. Obviously, if you do not pay the money, or if you do not pay the entire amount that you have spent with the help of this credit card at the end of every month, or if you do not do the payment at the specified time, then in that case you have to pay additional penalty charges also in case of delay of payment. Then sometimes what happens that using these credit card, you get some gifts or you get some other offers, like you get some bonus points or some cashback. So these are the certain advantages you can say while using a credit card. Now comes the next mode of e-payment, that is what is a charge card. A charge card is like a credit card without the option to pay your balance off over time. With a charge card, you must pay the entire balance in full every month. Charge cards provide all the benefits of a credit card: convenience, rewards, fraud, and purchase protection, etc. And these charge cards are similar to the credit card except they have no revolving credit line. That means this charge card is also a plastic money, and it is in somewhat it is like a credit card only, but there is a one difference between charge card and credit card, that in credit card we have a certain credit limit and we have to pay the money at the specified time, after which some penalty will be charged in case of delay of payment. But in case of charge card, there is no credit line, or you can say that there is no credit limit, and you have to pay the entire balance in full after every month. So it also provides all the benefits like a credit card, like it provides rewards, it provides convenience and protection against the cheats or thefts or purchases. So all these things, they are similar to the credit card, but except the credit limit, you can say the charge card, they have no revolving credit line. Now we will discuss some advantages of charge card. The first one is charge cards are unlikely to lead to card debt problems as they need to be paid off in full every month. That means there is no problem like debit problem, like card debit problem as in case of credit card, because in that case, in credit card case, we have to pay the entire amount in the specified time, and delay of which can lead to penalty charges. But in case of this charge card, there is no extra amount, or you need not to pay any extra interest on any extra penalty charges. But what is required, that you have to pay the entire balance or entire amount at the end of every month, basically in regular monthly basis only. Then the second, we have this kind of card may not be given a set credit limit, making it easier for card holders to buy expensive items as they need to. This means that like in credit card, we have certain credit limits that the person can spend only 50,000 or only 1 lakh per at one time. But in case of charge cards, there is no credit limit, and anyone or any user can buy expensive items as they require. Then the next, we have most cards come with additional rewards, discount schemes or perks for their users, such as club services and various insurance plans. That means they are generally approved for high quality borrowers, or who is having some excellent or good credit scores, and they offer many rewards and benefits with each purchase. And the card holders, they can obtain purchase points or even statement credits with their purchases, often with double or triple points on dining or on some travel expenses. So it is obviously a good option for the business travel. Now, along with advantages, there are some disadvantages of charge card also. The first one is some users find it hard to stick with the program and may end up spending more than they can afford to pay off, because there is no limit on this charge card, and many users, they keep on spending more and more money than they are able to pay at the end of the month. So in that case, this will cause some serious problem for them, because they are not able to pay it back at the end of every month. Then the next, we have the charge cards are usually reserved for individuals with a good or high credit rating. That means these charge cards are more popular or more useful for the persons having the high level of income, or having the excellent or good credit scores. So these are meant for, you can say, high business profile persons. Then the next, we have some cards will set minimum income levels that an individual can meet to qualify for a card. That means there is a minimum criteria for purchasing a charge card. Like the criteria can be set on the basis of income levels of a particular person or an individual, and in case that particular person fails to meet that particular criteria, then in that case, this charge card will not be issued to that particular person. So there is a criteria based on some income levels. So therefore, it cannot be issued to every person. Now we will discuss the important questions based on today's session. The first one is explain e-cash and e-wallets with their features and uses. In this question you have to explain the electronic cash and electronic wallets with their features, with their uses, with their advantages and disadvantages. Then the next we have, what do you mean by plastic money? Explain any two in detail. That means plastic money means smart cards, credit cards, debit cards, charge cards. You have to explain any two in detail with their advantages and disadvantages. So students, with this session we are now ending with our unit 3rd also. In the next session we will start with unit 4 and we will discuss about the EDI, that is electronic data interchange, and its various standards. Till then, you all take care of yourself and thank you so much for watching and keep learning.